Welcome to episode 22 of So You Want to Be a Star in the Music Business. This was supposed to be a continuation of episode 21, but we changed our mind. This is a situation that's probably a little more pressing, and this is more catered towards the groups that are out there. So the discussion today is going to be about the partnership agreement, which is the very thing that you want to write in the beginning. And this isn't going to be written for when things are going good. This is for when it all goes down, when everything is not going as smooth as you planned it. So the partnership agreement.
Right, and the only time that's right to discuss this is when things are going right. So as soon as possible, you get the band members together, you sit down, you start talking. Even if you don't resolve all of these questions in one meeting, you can at least get the parts that you do agree on written down. Somebody can type them up and you can sign it and agree to it and then continue talking.
Right.
Try to get it done.
So this is written in the very beginning when you can still throw high fives and hang out together and everybody likes each other. So this is the time when you need to talk about it.
And for those of you who think you need to hire a lawyer, that may be true to finish it, but you don't need a lawyer to sit around and tell you what you agree to. You just need to talk to each other. You can handwrite it, you can scribble it down, just first agree to it, then take all the things you agree to and bring it to an attorney to finish it up after you've already agreed to certain points.
So then the question is, what are the things that you should keep in the back of your mind or in front of your mind as to what to discuss and what you guys need to agree to? So there's probably a good 30 different topics. We're going to try to discuss only a few because this will take a long time.
Only a few today. Start with the simple ones, which a lot of people forget. Collect everyone's legal name, their stage name, their address, phone number, social security number, birth dates, and their email also. And just so that way you know who everyone is. More importantly, somebody may be a personal corporation. If that's the case, you need to know it now. And in that case, you also need their federal ID number. And you need to know, do they want to operate within your band as a corporation, an individual corporation, or do you all want to get together and create a corporation for the band? There are many reasons for this. Biggest one is payment. You go and work a concert, who gets paid? The promoter is not going to want to write out 5 separate checks. Although if that's the way you have to do it, it's the way you have to do it. Promoter probably wants to write one check out. And if you have a corporation, you have a place for him to write the check to. And then you can distribute money from there.
What about taxes?
Big problem. If you have a corporation, your taxes are covered by the fact that the corporation will pay taxes. And then the amount you distribute, each individual will pay taxes on that ultimately. However, let's say, Kevin, you and your band are playing at some bar and they're giving you $1,000. And you say, you know what, there are 5 of us, but just write the check to Kevin and he'll worry about getting the money out there. Here's the problem. Kevin received the check. It is over $600, which means it is taxable and must be reported
1099.
to 1099. So as long as it's over $600, they must report it, assuming that the promoter is doing legal things.
Right.
Kevin's going to have to pay taxes on the full $1,000. But you say, but Kevin, you gave $200 to this band member and $200 to that and $200 to that, and you were only left with $200 yourself.
Yep, doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference.
The government sees it as you made $1,000.
Right. You can always ask your band members to let you deduct a few dollars from their amount to cover the fact that you had to pay taxes on it. And it's very tricky to figure out. You forgive the phone in the background. Very tricky to figure out how much the actual taxes were. Again, another reason to have a corporation so that it's covered for the entire group.
That's right. So another thing on that band agreement, one of the basics, what's on the list?
Next thing is who actually owns the company.
Oh, yeah, this is important.
You know, you have 5 band members. Is the lead singer the one who put the 5 of you together, and the lead singer says, this is my band, you all are working for me, and I get to make the decisions? That could happen in the case if the band member owns a trademark on the name of the group or has just told you that's the way he wants to work, and you've agreed to do it. In the case that isn't true, then you have to decide you all have an equal vote. And this could be very simple. One of the band members has a wedding, a family wedding on May 25th, but there's also a concert. Does that band member have to go to that concert on May 25th because the other 4 voted to do it? Or is it one person or 2 people or a majority rule? Or does each person get to veto the rule? You have to come up with this. How do you determine how much each person gets paid? Is that a majority rule? Is it one person who's put in charge of it? A lot of questions. You can change the rules, but first you have to have them. So you sit down and you talk to your fellow band members, and you start talking about these things. I work with acts, we work with acts that do it each of these different ways. A 3 female group has a boss who they basically allow to make all the decisions, and the other 2 just show up and perform. Another act has a majority rule. And that becomes a problem. But sometimes it's a wonderful thing to do. But they sit around and argue a lot, but ultimately there is a vote, sometimes even a secret vote, to figure out whether or not they're doing this concert, that concert, whether they're agreeing to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning for a flight. All of this stuff, they sit around and discuss it. But guess what? That's also coming up with a meeting time.
Regular meeting times. But the things we're talking about, a lot of people might see a band that they like, or a group, I should say. Maybe even put out a couple albums, and they just all of a sudden disappear, and you're trying to figure out what happened. So it's a lot of small things that go on behind the scenes, like what's not written about in the agreement or what is, that causes a group to break up, I guess what we would consider to be prematurely, and just kind of disappear, just because of differences that they can't resolve based on small things behind the scenes, royalties, somebody's getting sick, or the lead singer thinks he's bigger than the group. So many things that are involved, and that's where this partnership is going to come into play.
And the most important thing, which we are going to talk about tomorrow in episode 23, we will continue this, is who brought in the money. Because if you're using a producer or you have an agreement with a production company, there's somebody else who may be telling you what to do. And then how do you represent yourself against them or for them or with them? And then it becomes, again, if somebody quits and says, I'm really angry at working with him, I don't want to be part of this group anymore. So how do you dissolve? Who still has rights? What if you've already made recordings? The new copyright infringement problem on songs that the government and the courts are going through right now in the year 2012 that may not be resolved until 2013. We're going to discuss all that tomorrow. And for now...
Any other basic topics you want to bring up, or just hold them?
I think we're going to hold them for tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
So again, we are... I'm Kevin Curtin.
I'm Mitch Weiss.
Check out the website, www.MWEntGroup.com. Also, follow us on Twitter.
And today we got a lot of phone calls coming.
Right. Business booming. Twitter is @_MWEG.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.